Right now, there's a shirt at the back of your closet you haven't worn in 4 winters, but you can't throw it away. There's a message on your phone from 2 a.m. 2 years ago. You've reread it more times than you'll ever admit. There's a name in your contacts you haven't spoken to in 3 years. You still won't delete it. None of these things are useful anymore. None of them bring you joy. And yet you keep them, all of them. This isn't sentimentality. It isn't nostalgia. It's a pattern. Psychologists have a name for it. And it explains something important. The tiredness you feel at the end of every day isn't about how much life gave you. It's about how little you were ever taught to let anything leave. You're carrying every yesterday you've ever lived. And it's exhausting you in ways you can't explain. In the next few minutes, you'll see exactly where this began, what it's silently costing you right now, and the one small shift that finally starts to loosen your grip. You're not a hoarder. Your home probably looks fine on the surface. You're not overly sentimental. You might even flinch a little when you hear the word feelings. You didn't survive some obvious trauma that would explain everything. You just never learned that keeping something you love isn't the same as keeping it forever. Think back for a moment. You're 5 years old. Someone tells you that you have too many toys and you have to give some away. You watch as a small yellow truck goes into a bag. You don't cry. You don't throw a tantrum. But something inside you registers a small, unspeakable truth, a piece of you just left in that bag. And no one else noticed. That was the moment your brain learned something dangerous. That letting go equals losing. Psychologists call this loss aversion. Here's how it works. Your brain feels the pain of losing something about twice as sharply as it feels the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. Losing hurts more than winning feels good. For a 5-year-old still figuring out how emotions work, one moment like that becomes a template. Every goodbye afterward starts to feel like that yellow truck sliding into that bag. Over time, this hardens into what's called an attachment defense. A silent belief if it was ever mine, releasing it means losing a piece of myself. So you don't release. You accumulate objects, memories, relationships that stopped nourishing you years ago. Because keeping still feels safer than the small death of letting anything go. And this is where the pattern starts showing up everywhere in your life. Start with your things. Look at your closet right now. Look at the drawer that won't close. Look at the corner of your desk, where receipts and old cards and small forgotten things have quietly piled up for years. Most of it hasn't been touched in months. Most of it serves no function. But every single item carries a private meaning only you can decode. A birthday, a person, a version of yourself you're terrified to lose. Emotional inertia, that's the term for it. In real life, it's the bottle of perfume you can't throw out because your grandmother wore it. It's the phone case cracked and yellow that got you through a hard year. It's the screenshots of conversations that ended in silence, still saved on a device you barely use anymore. None of it brings you joy. That was never the point. The point is that throwing it away would feel like erasing evidence that a certain part of your life happened at all. So the drawer stays full. The photo gallery stays cluttered. Your home grows heavier every year. And you keep telling yourself you'll deal with it someday. Now check your phone. That group chat that's been silent for 2 years, you still open it every morning. That old friend you have nothing in common with anymore, you still send birthday messages. That profile of someone you used to date, you still visit it on Sunday nights when the apartment feels too quiet. You already know these connections don't feed you anymore. Some of them actually drain you. But leaving would mean admitting that a chapter is over. And admission has always felt worse than exhaustion. You tell yourself you're being loyal. What you're actually doing is refusing to grieve. Because grief is the price of release. And you've spent your whole life avoiding that price. So the chats stay open. The obligations stay on your calendar. The people who no longer belong in your life stay in your contacts anyway. Now the hardest one, your own thoughts. It's 3 in the morning, your room is dark, your body is exhausted, but your mind is somewhere else, entirely replaying a conversation from 3 years ago, mentally rewriting the sentence you should have said. This is rumination, and it's the most exhausting grip of all, because there's no drawer to clean, no relationship to leave. There's only your own mind, holding you hostage in the dark. Cognitive scientists call this salience bias. Your brain gives outsized weight to emotionally charged memories, especially ones involving embarrassment, rejection, or shame. A single humiliating sentence from 5 years ago can echo louder in your head than 1,000 ordinary compliments received last week. Your brain isn't broken, it's doing what it evolved to do, trying to protect you from repeating something that once hurt. The problem is it never learns that the threat is over. So you lie there at 3 a.m., hand still closed around a moment that stopped existing anywhere except inside your head. You know it's not helping, you still can't put it down. And this is where the real cost begins to surface. The cost no one talks about at family dinners or in polite conversation. Everything you're holding is holding you back. Your present has no room to sit down because every chair at the table is already taken by something from your past that refuses to leave. A new relationship can't fully bloom because ghosts of old ones are still whispering warnings. A new opportunity can't be fully accepted because a fear born when you were 5 is still shaping your answer. A new version of yourself can't emerge because every old version is still standing in the doorway, arms crossed, refusing to move. You live inside a house crowded with everyone you've ever been, and you wonder why you can't breathe. You're not tired because life is heavy. You're tired because you've never let anything leave. Here's what almost no one tells you. Letting go was never about losing. It was always about making room. Every closet has a limit. Every phone has a limit. Every mind has a limit. And every day you refuse to release something, you're taking up space that new things, new joy, new people, new versions of yourself can never move into. You don't have to burn the closet. You don't have to delete every contact. You don't have to fix every regret tonight. You just have to let one thing leave. One shirt you haven't worn in years, one chat you haven't opened without dread, one thought that's been living rent-free in your head for a decade. That's it. The people who learn this don't become cold. They don't become detached. They become lighter. They start noticing something strange. The room around them isn't actually as small as they thought. It was just crowded with things they had confused for love, or safety, or self. And once one small grip loosens the rest, slowly remember how to open too. If any of this landed somewhere quiet inside, if the shirt in your closet suddenly has a face, or the 2 a.m. message suddenly has a name, then this pattern isn't a stranger to you. It's been living inside you for a very long time. In the comments, share one small thing that's been asking to leave for years. An item, a person, a thought, a version of yourself, and what letting it go might make room for. Not because a stranger on the internet needs to know, because writing it down turns something invisible into something with a shape. And things with a shape can finally be released. If this reached the part of you that's been carrying too much for too long, gently press like and subscribe so more of these can find you. The next one might just be the one that finally opens your hand.